What's up, guys? It's Cyan, and Acid Roots is getting ready to review a Lil Yachty mixtape. Rumor has it it's not going to score very high, but he's still a cool guy. So just pop some popcorn and get ready for this shit.
All right, you two. So I'm gonna try reviewing someone new as far as like the way that this has gone recently. So I'm gonna review Lil Yachty. I haven't really talked that much about like new age trap, the kind of stuff that you hear most of the time on Instagram and that sort of stuff. But I wanted to start. I wanted to start getting into some of this just because it does have it. The effects of it are starting to get larger, and I'm starting to see it pop up more frequently, and just it's becoming a lot more massive. I kind of thought back in 2016 and 2015 that this style was only going to be here for like a little bit, kind of like swag rap and things of those natures like crunk and those sorts of things, but it's actually lasting a lot longer. So I'm going to start covering some of these things more. You may have noticed that I covered Gucci Mane and Migos and some of these cats. I'm kind of reaching a point where I'm like, I do think that a lot of these are going to have to start being here more frequently, and I'm going to have to start embracing this style a lot more. So Lil Yachty, he's a younger cat. He's like early 20s, 22, something like that. But back in 2016, he was in Kanye West's Yeezy show, something like that, and Yeezy fashion line. And he put out this breakout mixtape in early 2016. He had dropped a couple EPs in 2015, one of which had the song One Night, which happened to be a large that was a big SoundCloud song, and it basically got him started. He later in the year after dropping this mixtape wound up signing to Quality Control, which was the record label created by Migos and their collaborators. So a lot of folks are on the record label Quality Control right now. Bunch of them. There's City Girls, Lil Yachty, those type folks. I think Gunna and Lil Baby and some of them folks are also on there. But so this project, I wanted to review it just because I'm trying to start thinking of the styles that this is going to be. So it kind of reminds me of Future, a younger version of Future that's kind of trying to do the singing R&B type trap, but then still be rap at the same time. So that's the vibes I got from it. But the thing about it is, the best song on this project is One Night. This project is really not that good at all. Has a lot of half baked and kind of pre-professional type vibes from it. But the song One Night does feel official and very cognizant and just effective. But then, as far as other songs I found on that project, there are not many. Minnesota, if you listen to that song, I don't know how that wound up charting on the Billboard 100. I mean, that has to have one of the worst produced beats for a rap song that I pretty much ever heard. I mean, it does not. I mean, it really sounds tone deaf at that point. As far as, I mean, even if like the lyrics happen to be good on there, which I'm not sure if that's the case, the production is just so bad that it can't even warrant a listen. I mean, this is a song that you hear and you immediately skip just because of how bad the production is. And it's kind of the same thing with the song that comes before it, which is Wanna Be Us. And I've tried, I mean, that's like the third best song to me, but it really takes a lot of effort to kind of get past the subpar production on there. And then on top of that, the other things to talk about as far as the way that this project actually goes is me trying to say I credit Lil Yachty for attempting to sing. It's not exactly something that just comes to you first time. I think this was actually like his first project that he was taking serious, but it was not. It was still kind of. It felt like the music was still kind of in the oven at this point. It didn't feel finished. I'm gonna say that again. It felt like it was still in the oven as far as the way he was trying to create this music. There are some songs that kind of come out complete. Like I think One Night was one of the ones that felt like it could have been regular trap and had like official type certified stuff to it, but there just were not enough of those. So I'm really going to score this rather bad. I mean, the singles, Wanna Be Us, Minnesota, those are bunk. And One Night is terrific, but that's virtually about it. The rest of those songs hardly warrant attention just because the singing is bad, and if you combine that with poor production choices and mostly just sounding like someone just recorded, it sounds like someone you went to school with who recorded this kind of music. That is kind of stuff. It hardly sounds professional. So, and I know obviously, there may be folks that would get kind of antsy about it just because, um, it's creative, which I admit that it is creative, but that does not necessarily mean it has like impact, or that does not mean it has quality, and that's kind of the situation there. I feel the creativity, but I don't feel the quality coming through this release. And so I'm going to recommend the songs I do recommend out of 14 on this mixtape. So one of which is One Night, which I think is probably the most popular song on this project. And then number two, which was kind of a surprise hit to me. I mean, if he could have done more songs like this, the project would have scored a lot higher. But I'm going to talk about the song I'm Sorry. That has terrific singing. And that's kind of the situation is I mean, the One Night and I'm Sorry, both of which sound like kind of mini Future songs, and this real malaised and drug induced, and that's the kind of stuff that I would have preferred just to hear throughout the entire record. I know it's kind of seemed like it's hard to replicate, but those were the two best moments in my opinion. And he did some good music with the Good Perry individual. So that's why I kind of said I almost liked Wanna Be Us, but I just couldn't quite push myself over to do it. I mean, if I absolutely had to, I could probably listen to Wanna Be Us, but it is a quite distant third best song. And I just feel like I would skip it more often than I would actually listen to it. But the other two songs, One Night and I'm Sorry, I can listen to on normal uh, procedures. So that's just kind of the situation there. But um, for me, only liking two songs out of 14, I guess I would just give this album a 2 out of 10. It's about a seventh of the album, and you know, yeah, I'd say a 2 is about where it's at. Just kind of saying that from that regard. But if you do think that there should be more, a song that I was on the fence about would be "Wanna Be Us." So, but yeah, the social score, which is how well this would do around your folks, it's kind of subpar also, just because although there were three singles, I mean they're just so atrocious. It kind of feels like more of this ridicule. You're kind of laughing in in a disrespectful tone more so than in a positive light. So that's kind of where I was at with that. It's just not too terrific a release, and I think a lot of folks have said this from a critic's angle. That's kind of the situation. So, but at least there are. I mean, I can't entirely say that it's just a crap project. I mean, I see the direction as to how it deserves to be kind of with the talent and the shit that he does, but it was really still kind of half baked as to that point in time between late 2015 and early 2016 when he made it. So that's the thing. It did not quite cross over to professional from that point, at least up to that point. So yeah, 2 out of 10. And I would also say probably 2 out of 10 social, by the way.